What if I told you that March 2026 may have quietly become one of the most important reset months in Can Yaman's recent career? In this video, we're breaking down the 4 biggest Can Yaman updates from March, from the Sanremo after effect to the Sandokan shift, the Kaplan rap, and his latest public appearance in Rome. So if you want clean Can Yaman updates without fake hype, make sure to subscribe, and if you'd like to support the channel even more, don't forget to click the join button below. March 2026 was not the loudest month of Can Yaman's year, but it may have been one of the most revealing. This was not really a month about one giant shocking headline. It was more like a transition month, the kind of month where several different developments start pointing in the same direction. And when you put them together, you begin to see a bigger picture. So instead of looking at random stories one by one, let's break this month down into 4 big updates that may tell us where Can Yaman is heading next. The first big update is the Sanremo aftermath. Even though Sanremo 2026 happened in late February, its impact clearly carried into March. Can did not just appear on a major Italian stage and disappear the next day. That moment continued to shape the conversation around him entering March. His role as co-host on opening night, and especially that symbolic Sandokan moment with Kabir Bedi, helped reinforce something very important. Can was not being treated like a random guest. He was being placed inside a broader Italian entertainment narrative, one that connects prestige television, legacy, and mainstream visibility. And that matters because March then becomes easier to understand. Once you have that Sanremo platform behind you, every following update feels different. A set update is no longer just a set update. Public appearance is no longer just a public appearance. The industry context becomes bigger. Sanremo did not automatically solve everything for Can, of course. It did not guarantee perfect momentum forever. But it gave March a kind of foundation. It made the rest of the month feel like part of a bigger phase rather than isolated news items. The second big update is the Sandokan and Bro shift. One of the most interesting March talking points was not about a scandal, a rumor, or a viral clip. It was about direction. Reports in early March said that Sandokan's second season had been pushed back for the time being, while another project, Bro, entered the conversation as a new Lux Vide comedy direction. That instantly changed the tone of the conversation around Can's career, because now fans were no longer just asking, "What's next for Sandokan?" They were also asking, "What kind of range is he building next?" And honestly, that is a bigger question than people think. Because if you only follow the headlines casually, you may think this is just a delay and a side project. But if you look more carefully, March started to feel like a strategic pivot month. Sandokan still remains a major title in Can's image, but Bro suggests that the next step may not simply be repeating the same screen energy again and again. Hints at movement, hints at variety. And whether Bro becomes a huge hit or not, its presence inside the conversation matters because it shows that Can's screen future is not being framed as one-dimensional. So this was not just a bad news, Sandokan delayed moment. It was more like a career map is expanding moment. And that is a very different way to read March. The third big update is probably the strongest concrete development of the month. Kaplan rapped. On March 24th, Italian entertainment coverage reported that the filming for Il Labirinto delle Farfalle had officially finished. This is huge because for weeks, fans had been watching the Kaplan conversation build through set updates, speculation, and anticipation. But in March, that talk finally turned into something concrete. The production phase was done. Can himself also marked the end of filming, which made the moment feel even more official and final. And this is where March really starts to feel important. Because once a major project wraps, the energy changes. You are no longer talking only about effort, training, on-set discipline, and filming conditions. Now you start entering the next phase. Post-production, marketing strategy, release timing, and platform positioning. In other words, Kaplan stopped being just a work-in-progress story and started becoming a waiting-to-launch story. That is a big psychological shift for fans and also a big professional shift for Can's visibility. What makes this update especially important is that Kaplan already feels different from some of the titles people usually associate with Can. The tone is different. The market angle is different. The language environment is different. So when filming officially ends, it does not just mean another box has been checked. It means one of the most watched projects in his next phase is now moving toward the audience-facing stage. And that alone makes Kaplan one of the defining Can Yaman stories of March 2026. The fourth big update is his Rome appearance. Toward the end of March, Can appeared in Rome to support Giovanni Nasta, and that gave the month a final public visibility moment. On paper, some people may call this a smaller story compared to Sanremo or Kaplan, but I actually think it matters more than it first seems. Why? Because these public appearances help maintain the sense that Can is still part of the active entertainment conversation in Italy, even when there is no giant official announcement dropping that same day. That kind of visibility is easy to underestimate. In a month like March, after a big February and before whatever comes next, disappearing completely can create a strange vacuum. But showing up in Rome, supporting a colleague, being seen again in that environment, it keeps the image alive. Keeps the connection alive. It reminds people that Can is still present, still moving, still part of the cultural space around Italian entertainment. And when you connect that with Sanremo behind him and Kaplan now wrapped, the Rome appearance starts to look less like a random event and more like the closing scene of a transition month. So when you put all four of these updates together, what does March 2026 really tell us? To me, it says that this month was about repositioning. Not explosion. Not chaos. Not one giant headline. Repositioning. Sanremo gave Can prestige stage visibility. The Sandokan and Bro conversation raised bigger questions about career direction. Kaplan officially finished filming and moved into the next phase. And Rome gave the month one last public-facing signal that he is still active, visible, and very much in motion. That is why I would not describe March as a weak month at all. I would describe it as a bridge month. A month that connected one major public moment to the next career chapter. And sometimes those bridge months end up mattering more than the loudest headline months, because they are the months where the direction becomes clearer. So yes, March 2026 may not have given us a single massive shocking reveal every week. But it did give us something more useful. A clearer picture of where Can Yaman stands right now, and a stronger sense of what fans should be watching next. And that's exactly why this month matters. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this clean breakdown of Can Yaman's March 2026 in 4 big updates, make sure to subscribe for more. And if you want to support the channel even more directly, don't forget to hit the join button below. Let me know which of these 4 updates you think matters most for Can's next phase, and I'll see you in the next video.